Hey, what's up, YouTube audience? I thought I would try this live feature from my desktop for the first time ever. So this is a first, but it's not a first time that I've talked about coordinating your attention with hormone glands. So this is something I've taught in my private training group called the Silent Flute for a few months now. I just taught an event on this in Cincinnati. No, in Toledo, Ohio. And it was very, very successful. So I thought I would start talking about it here. And also this could serve as like a promo for venues that might be interested in this sort of thing, because this is not the sort of thing that they teach you in teacher training. Not that I'm aware of. I learned this from linguists, people that understand neurolinguistics and how your neurosystem is responsible for the interpretation of language. So first of all, I want to keep this short and concise. Basically, you have glands that are remote in places in your body, meaning they don't directly connect with each other except through the vascular system, like your blood connects them, but that takes time for blood to move around, and there's all kinds of blockages and things like that. Unlike your nervous system, where there could also be blockages, but generally it's like a fractal. And if you were anywhere on your nervous system, you could get to anywhere else on your nervous system because it all connects. That's not so with your hormone system. And so what ends up happening is the neurosystem, particularly your sensory neurons, like your perception of senses, they all coalesce at your thalamus, at the top of your brainstem. Thalamus is a part of your brain. It's a very ancient part of your brain, half a billion years old, and maybe not quite that, 300 million years old. The thalamus is also the control center for your hormones. And hormones are responsible for like metabolism, growth, healing, development of certain parts of your body, kind of related to growth. Definitely things like sexual drives and other primal urges, and so many things, right? This is controlled by chemical signals in your body, which are hormones. So the crossroads of your hormone system, things like your pineal gland, your thymus, your thyroid, your testicles or ovaries, your adrenals, which are huge in yoga, huge. Too many people are overbreathing and stimulating their adrenals, and they're triggering fight flight while they're practicing, which tends to correspond to emotions of anger and just really strong aggressive emotions, which is fine. It's hard to repattern your muscular system and really reprogram your posture, let alone going into your mind and your belief system from a position of fight flight. You really want to be into rest and rejuvenate nervous system to be able to do that. So the crossroads of your hormone system and your nervous system is the thalamus. And so the process for controlling hormones initially comes from breath work, pranayama, certain ways. And I teach rapid ways, I teach intermediate ways, and I teach very slow, methodical ways to oxygenate your thalamus. This is basically ways of breathing and holding your breath that will send oxygen preferentially to your brainstem and the top of your brainstem. And what happens is oxygen causes your nerves to communicate more. The synapses will fire, and it's sometimes even hard to get them to stop firing, which is why a lot of yogis get emotional breakthroughs during yoga. Is really they just were hyperventilating, they were breathing too much, and their nervous system is just firing. And so somebody touches them or they stimulate a memory, and that memory just reverberates an emotion up and down and up and down and up and down, echoes in their nervous system. They can't get over it, and it's called overwhelmed. So they're overwhelmed with the emotion because they were too oxygenated. So take advantage of this principle by preferentially and focusing that oxygenation to the thalamus. Then from there, so now you're starting to get a little control of your senses. Now we pinpoint locations on the body where endocrine glands take place, and we look there. It's helpful to incorporate other yoga practices like Tritaka meditation, where you stare at a candle or point at the wall. It's a kind of mudra. And so you point, you really get tunnel vision, focus in your vision very narrow. Then you close your eyes and look inward at certain glands. Now, as you do this, this is where really my specialty comes in, because I just described most of it. If you have awareness or you have a tool belt of yoga techniques, you can get to this place on your own. Everything I just described. You can Google endocrine glands, look at a map, and figure it out. The real specialty where I come in is the linguistics. What do you say to a gland? What do you say to a body part to help it come into your awareness, to help it talk back? It sounds ridiculous, but everybody in the Silent Flute, I have 10 people in the Silent Flute right now, they know the reality of it because you see it in their face. Their face lights up when I coach them through the dialogue. They're like, whoa, you can talk to your hypothalamus, which is the gland in front of the thalamus. You can talk to pituitary. You can talk to adrenals. You can talk to body parts that aren't glands. And It has to do with questions. It has to do with a mindset, meaning like, are you talking to the gland as if it were your dad? Or are you talking to the gland as if it were your son? Are you talking to the gland as if it was wounded? Or are you talking to the gland as if it were your employer, or it was strong, or it was militant? And there's so many aspects of it. So language is learned through a reference. We get references for language. Babies learn language by hearing and modeling other people do language. And this is what I offer, is my experience of communing with body parts. I have tabulated many questions. Sorry for the traffic sounds outside. I've tabulated many really potent questions that will help facilitate. Kind of like how if you learned like a sales script and you get a reference for, whoa, I didn't think to ask a question like that, like this, like that. I mean, I have a sales coach that does real estate, and I'll talk to him about yoga, and he'll give me a question. I'm like, well, how did I not think of that? Like, you don't even do yoga, and you thought of that question. It's such a good question. And so I've thought of questions because I'm very interested in persuading my body to do what I want it to do. I don't want to make it do what I want to do. I don't want to be an effect or a victim of what my body wants to do. I don't want the environment controlling my nervous system. I want control of my nervous system over any external stimuli. How do I do this? Is talking to my body. To be able to talk to your body, you have to be able to look at your body. To be able to look at your body, you have to clarify what is your body, which is why hatha yoga, stretching and breathing practices are so potent, is they can bring all of your tissues into your awareness through sensation. So that's the basic gist of how to control hormones. If you'd like the details on the techniques of it, join my Silent Flute program. Go to ninthlimb.com/the-silent-flute, or you'll see it at the top, Silent Flute, or attend one of my events. Look at my calendar and see if I'm coming to your town, or just send me a message. I can teach you privately on it also. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're seeing this afterwards, and I'll see you in the next video. Blessings.